Brad.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Phil. And today we are drinking a Goose Island's Bourbon County brand stout for 2012. I was told by a good friend of ours that this is a fantastic beer. I had one already. It's really good.
He's not a good friend of mine.
Wasn't Brett.
I don't like him either. His name's Driscoll.
Oh!
I mean...
I mean, do you want to explain it?
Well, yeah, I'll explain it.
Okay, well,
sorry.
listen to you ramble on before we drink this delicious beer. That's
according to GooseIsland.com, this is brewed in honor of the 1000th batch at their original Clyburn pub. It says it's a liquid as dark and as dense as a black hole. I know science. With a thick foam or bourbon barrel, the nose of it is an intense mix of charred oak, chocolate, vanilla, caramel, and smoke. And one sip has more flavor than your average case of beer. That's what they say.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sets the bar high. Let's try it.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, right? It's even warming on the way down. Like there's
something on the way down.
It's still going though. It's still going.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
What there's a caramely, like a strong caramely, like it's a. I'd love to find out what barrels they used and how much they were charred, because slowly getting into bourbon, you realize that the amount of char, like the alligator char, is the most, and then like they have lighter chars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grades.
Oh really?
And it really actually makes a huge difference in it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And this is really, really sweet and caramely and ooh.
And but the smoke is still there though. That's the good thing about this. Is it's not the upfront flavor, but at the end of it, it kind of lingers afterwards. You know.
Well, it's very sweet right in the beginning. Ridiculously sweet, which I'm sure it's half beer and half bourbon barrel that's contributing both of that. But then it deteriorates very quickly into that really nice, smoky, burnt kind of flavor, and then gets a little bit sweet again, and then you get more of the smoke, and then all the while there's kind of this bourbon thing that's kind of sitting up in here a little bit. And there's a little bit of vanilla that's in there that I'm tasting. You can taste the oak. And then it's just kind of like, I mean, this is like it's like a 25-second taste that you can keep.
Yeah, it's still happening. I've been taking a drink since the first one, and I can still taste like a smoky char.
But it's not overly complex. Everything rides pretty well, because we've had beers where it's been way too layered, and you're like,
yeah.
But this is like a nice kind of smooth. You know, you get a little bit of that oak, you get a little bit of that vanilla. Like I mean, and there's the underlying like sweet caramel.
Yep.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, it's like you take it all up, you line it up, and you smoosh it up, and then you just draw it out like that, and everything just kind of works real well together.
You might have the dumbest analogies that I've ever heard.
Or the best! Or the most amazing!
Alright, so Bourbon County brand stout, 2012. This is from Goose Island, Chicago, Illinois. Man, I want to give it a 9.5, and I'm going to give it a 9. And the reason why is because drinkability isn't constantly there. Beers that I give a 10 to, it's more, I can have this almost every day.
Right.
This is almost like a treat, but it's almost too much.
Yeah.
The 9.5, it does have a harshness to the alcohol taste. So I'm going to drop it down to a 9, but oh my god, if you can get one of these, and the nice thing is that it's seasonal, so it's one of those things that you're going to run out the door for, you know, like a breakfast stout, or like a Canadian breakfast stout, or Kentucky breakfast stout. It's complex, doesn't overpower you with too many layers, doesn't take you on any like crazy tangents, it's just nice and everything's right there.
I'm gonna go a little bit lower, but only like 8.8, 8.9.
We have to
8.85.
8.85, 1.632.
Throwing off our curve, man.
I know. Try to put that one to our decimal systems.
Our 2 decimals.
But I agree with you that this is a treat. In fact, I think you can tell by the way that we've all slowed down in drinking it since we started.
Yeah.
Is that almost this much is too much. If you buy a whole bottle of this, you better share it with like 3 people. for 2 people. The flavors are amazing. There is that alcohol taste, but you know, if it was only 6 or 8 ounces, you'd be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
When you get this far, you know, it's a little bit overpowering, but in the end, ultimately,
Are you writing a haiku?
damn enjoyable.
It just seems that way. I'm actually going to rate it the same as you go. I'm going to rate it an 8.85, and therefore locking in.
I was 8.85, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. All right.
I can't think of other numbers unless I count them in order.
I had I had one of these before. We did this here just because I needed one more beer. But to your 8-ounce thing, I did that because I figured after I tasted the first one that I had that it would be better served, because I thought Driscoll was going to be here, that it would be, you know, three beers between 4 people would be a better volume of this beer for it. But it is. It's so good. It's so smooth. It's so everything that you said. It's just the combination of all the flavors work so well together, but they don't vary away from each other enough to get you distracted from basically just you never ever forget that this is a bourbon barrel aged beer ever.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Every taste in this beer contributes to that in some way or takes from it in some way, shape, or form, which is great. For me though, the alcohol is a little bit high. I do agree with you. I don't think I could do more than one of these every 2 hours, if that.
2 hours?
2 hours?
2 months?
I would put it to you for this though, that this is one of those. I would say you could drink this beer exactly the same way as I see you drinking your bourbon, right? Because I hate bourbon. But you could put it in a snifter glass, and you could sit there with 8 ounces in a snifter glass and it would be a conversation accompaniment to something, right? You'd be sitting around with a bunch of people or a bunch of guys or whatever.
You think, number 1, we have conversation. Number 2, we have friends. What is the matter?
Number 3, I think we have smoking jackets. And number 4, I think we have big wingback leather chairs.
I also think
and a hunting lodge to do this.
I'm gonna be on your side on this one. I'm gonna say that we are not drinking this beer I'm at home. I just got home from a long day at work. I'm gonna sit down on the couch and watch some baseball. Let me open up a Bourbon County Stout.
Right, exactly.
Because in 15 minutes after you start drinking it, it's gonna go one of 2 ways. No, I take that back. It's gonna go one way.
Right, you're out. Right.
You know?
Absolutely. I could talk for more if you want to.
No.
You sure?
We're
You sure?
All right, thank you. Goose Island, Bourbon County Stout.
Keeping the hope alive.
This and the vintage series. Keep doing that.